Ladies and gentlemen, Armenians around the world, here in Southern California, Armenians in the diaspora, welcome to this historic day, the groundbreaking ceremony for the Armenian American Museum. My name is Alina Abovian, and I will be your host for tonight. I'm a news reporter here in Los Angeles for KTLA 5 News. Thank you for joining us. This is a very, very special day. Not only does it mark an end to 7 years of hard work that brought us to this moment, to the groundbreaking, but it also marks the beginning for what is to come. We're live here at Glendale Central Park. This is an outdoor space, you'll see from the wind, and we're going to be joined here by hundreds of local Armenians, Americans, and our supporters who want to be here for this incredible journey's beginning. So thank you for joining us from your homes. Right now, I want you all to just acknowledge the importance of this specific day. It took so much work to bring this project to fruition. 7 years of hard work, countless people that were behind the scenes that pushed this forward. Countless hours, countless days. Stay with us as our live program will begin very shortly. This is the pre-show where we'll be bringing in people that worked behind the scenes for so many years and months and hear from them what it truly took to bring this museum to life. Take a look. So when we come back, Berge got up and down. For those of you, this is the historical groundbreaking ceremony for the Armenian American Museum. With me, I have our first guest, Mr. Berge Karapetyan, the executive chairman for the museum. This man, he's the one that started it all. From day one, he has been the pillar behind this to bring all of this to fruition. This community is indebted to this man. Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much, Alina. Thank you very much. This is a special day for everyone. Everyone who's a Glendale resident, everyone who's an Armenian American, anyone who's an Armenian around the world watching us. This is a special day where we get to celebrate. We get to rejoice for all these years that we've been working to get to the groundbreaking, and we're going to go forward until we are able to open the museum. Thank you.
It's taken so many years to bring this project to where it is today. What does it feel to stand here now and to have all these people be present to the groundbreaking ceremony? I'm sure there were a lot of hardships. Did you think that today would happen?
I was convinced today would happen. I'm extremely happy. I'm ready to jump up and down and celebrate. Yes, it's been a long journey, but it's a journey because initially when I read one of the projections on museums, they said that a museum from beginning, an initial museum, takes from beginning to opening day takes 10 years. We're almost on track to open the museum in 10 years. So yes, it's been a long journey, but it takes a lot of steps. We are very grateful to the city of Glendale for leasing the grounds to us for $1 a year for 95 years. We're grateful to the architects that have done a wonderful job and the rest of the team. So I'll tell you more about it as we go on.
So one thing I would love to know, what was the initial spark? You know, when you had the idea of all the things that you could give your attention to and give resources to, why decide to do an Armenian American Museum?
Alina, the spark probably started back in 1965-68 when the 50th anniversary of the Armenian genocide was being commemorated. The community at that time built a monument in Montebello that the young individuals like myself who grew up here in the Los Angeles area were able to go and visit in 1970 and on. So therefore, the spark is what they started back in the 50th anniversary of the genocide, and then during the 100th anniversary of the genocide commemoration, we wanted to do something different, something that would be more live, something that people could come and experience and do things there to continue the process of our cultural advancement.
It takes one man, it takes one idea to bring a great idea to fruition. Thank you, sir. We are indebted to you as a community. So stay with us. We have a great program for you guys. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Wow, when you see that montage and you see what this place will look like in the future, it's just incredible. I get goosebumps every single time, and I'm sure it took so much planning. And of course, we have with us the creative mind, the creative force behind this project, Mr. Aram Alajajian. He is the architect, the man behind what you just saw. He is going to bring this project to life in just a few short years. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Well, thank you for the introduction. Happy to be here. Finally, the day arrived for all of us. This is a big celebration day, and we're all excited to get started with a project that is meant so much for our community in general, you know, Glendale community. Thank you.
When you were first given this project, what was the process to get inspiration, and how did you decide to model the museum the way that you did?
Well, when first it was a competition actually, you know, 46 architectural firms participated. Fortunately, we were the winners. It was internationally announced. From the inception, the project was very close to my heart, you know, because my background is, I'm an Armenian, and, you know, my roots come from Armenia also. So the inspiration was the nature of Armenia, the mountainous Armenia, and the history of Armenia. This whole, the fragments that you see, they represent, every fragment represents a community, an Armenian community that's spread out around the world. When you bring it around, bring them together around the skylight, around the central element, it becomes a rock, it becomes a unity, and it, not just for Armenians, for any nation. When you bring them all together, you know, this place, or for, not just for Armenians, it's designed to host other cultures under the same roof.
What better place to bring people together? Now, I know this is going to be a very large space, 55,000 square feet. It's going to be 2 stories. Tell us about what else. An amphitheater, there's going to be a park inside. Talk to us about what people can expect.
Well, yes, it will have an amphitheater, which would probably house about 250 to 300 people. And the amphitheater will serve for the movie viewing, for the lectures, for the special events. It will have a demonstration kitchen, which mainly will be operating on a daily basis or for the event basis. And then we will have a learning center on the first floor. This is all accommodated on the ground floor, which is accessible from the park, the level that you see from here. We have administrative offices on the same level. Now, the second level completely is dedicated for exhibition, which is 75% is a permanent exhibition, the Armenian story. And 25% of that, which is about 7,000 square feet of an area, would be dedicated to host the other cultures or contemporary exhibitions. Now, the detailed thing, I'm sorry I'm taking a little bit of time. I'm excited about it.
It's the story is in the details, sir.
Yeah. Now, the temporary portion will hold other cultures if we Let's say if we have an Indian exhibition going on, the same time the demonstration kitchen will serve Indian food. So the people who are visiting, the guests who are visiting the museum, they will be able to also
a completely multifaceted space. We get to taste
Correct.
Armenian, we get to see Armenian, experience Armenian, and hear Armenian. So anyone who does not know much about our culture, essentially in one experience, they will be fully immersed in what it is to be an Armenian. And also we will be paying tribute to other artists and to other exhibitions. So it is a
Absolutely.
fully dynamic cultural space, not just for Armenians, but in all cultures, because at the end of the day, what brings us together is education, representation, and being exposed to different cultures and different communities.
Absolutely.
So I'm so excited. I grew up here in Glendale. Did you?
No, I live in Glendale for about 41 years. This is my city, and I'm proud to be part of this project as an architect.
Absolutely. So what are we looking at as far as timeline-wise? I've heard that 2023 will be the completion date projected.
Well, as we move forward with the phase one would be garages, parking structure. After the phase one, we'll follow the phase two, which is the main superstructure of the project. So depending on the speed of the phase one and completion of the phase two will start right after that. But let's not forget also their interior work of the permanent museum needs to be completed, such as auditorium spaces and all that. That will also take about a year to complete that. Yeah. So 2023, maybe a little bit later than that.
As we all know, in construction, it always costs double and takes twice as long. But let's hope not, because we're in very good hands. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and for your efforts. Stay tuned with us, guys.
The Armenian American Museum is an important project that will reflect not only Armenia's rich culture and history, but also the contribution of the Armenian American community in making the U.S. a more diverse country. The ARF Western U.S. Central Committee has played an instrumental role since the conception of the museum project, and we are excited to be a part of this effort that will bring our community closer together. We are looking forward to the groundbreaking, which we believe will start a new chapter in our community's history. Congratulations to the Armenian American Museum. Building together, leaving a legacy.
Thank you again for joining us. I'm joined now by a very important man that played a very instrumental role in bringing this museum to what it is today, to this stage, the groundbreaking ceremony. I am joined by California Assembly Member Adrien Nazarian. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thanks for having me here.
How do you feel to be here tonight? I know that you've worked very hard behind the scenes, doing a lot of the legwork in terms of bringing awareness from the state level and also securing funding. How does it feel to know that all your hard work is paid off?
Well, this is the first important step. The funding has been, some level of funding has been procured. Now we're looking to the community to continue supporting. And then after that, the location was identified. Now we're going to look forward to continually building step after step. So it's a great day. It's important to have these milestones and look forward to the next ones.
Absolutely. Just like building a building, just like building a home or a museum, it's laying the foundation brick by brick. Tell us about what role you had in all of this, because you have worked very hard throughout the years.
When the idea initially came to me, I thought it was very important to get state funding and state support. When you look at various different buildings, community centers that have been invested in over time, like the Skirball, tell you a specific story about the heritage of a community that has been interwoven in American and Californian life. It was important to also look at the Armenian community and its contributions to California and to the U.S. And so when you look at the fact that there's this very successful immigrant story to be said, coupled with the fact that it's a growing community that continues to contribute to the fabric of California, it was an important step to take in order to make sure that the history is also captured well.
Here in California, Armenians, after the genocide, we have very deep roots here, starting in the Central Valley, of course, here in Los Angeles, and even in upstate. So when you're at the Capitol, when you're speaking with people that could potentially help it push this cause forward, how do you explain this to them? How do you explain why this is important to our people? Because I think some people sometimes they miss the point. Why are we constantly striving for that recognition and representation?
Well, you look at America's history or California's history. As Americans, we're a conglomeration of many different people, and we've all come to become one. Mm-hmm. But when you become one, doesn't mean you lose who you are or what you bring. In fact, it's what you bring that makes America so much more better off. And in order to continue building with that strength, you need to make sure that you're highlighting and capturing the various stories, the narratives that made those individuals who contribute to making America great. You tell those stories. Mm-hmm. And this is a place where it's going to allow for that story to be told, another version of the American story, and for us to continue.
Absolutely. You know, in my work, I'm always telling stories, and every so often I'm very fortunate with the support of my station to tell stories that are about the Armenian people, especially Armenian Americans here in Southern California. And we always do stories about the genocide. We do stories about Armenians that are successful here in the United States, essentially success, American dream stories. And it always surprises me. Every single person that I meet, they have a story, whether it's a survival story or someone that came here as an immigrant and rose to immense success or created something that is of value and it contributes to this community. It really is incredible to now have all this be in full display. It's almost like you can tell a story, but when you see it right out there, it makes it that much more real.
And it's important for our children, grandchildren, and their children to also know what's been at stake for them, for their past, and what their future is about. And for them to know that they have a stake in California and in the United States. Because we're all at the table and we need to be informed decision makers at the table as well.
Right. And it's amazing how people know of Armenians. Some do. They've heard of Armenians. They recognize our flag. They recognize when we march on April 24. They recognize our last names. But very few of them know that we have such a rich history that dates way before the 800 BC, way before the Bronze Age. They don't know that Armenians were the first Christian nation. And now they'll be able to learn all this. And if they tell one other person and that person tells another person, I mean, think about the impact we can have. Here in Los Angeles, you of course know, we have millions of tourists that visit here every single year, and we could potentially have millions of people visiting this museum, millions of people learning about our story, and then of course telling our story.
I'm looking forward to being one of those individuals, and I'm looking forward to bringing my children here as well, because this is going to be a repository of that history and building the future. So thank you and also thank you for all your efforts and in your support as well.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure. And I'm so lucky that I work for a news organization that really supports things that I want to do. I used to, when I first started, I had to explain what it was. I had to give all the background. But now it's like I just say, this is what's happening. It's an Armenian American event. Okay, we're there. No questions asked. And that really is, it shows how far the community has come. Because I can't do what I do unless the community shows up.
Yeah. But you've also been a good spokesperson. So thank you for your credibility.
Likewise, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Assembly Member Adrien Nazarian, ladies and gentlemen.
Հայ-ամերիկյան թանգարանը այսօր մեր ուշադրության կենտրոնն է։ Ուրախությամբ կուզենք հայտնել հանրության, որ վերջին շաբաթներուն եւ ամիսներուն նոր մղում եւ նոր թափ ստացան աշխատանքները այս հսկա կառույցի հիմնադրության եւ շնորհիվ անհատնում ճանկերու, ինչպես նաեւ հետեւողական աշխատանքի մենք այսօր ագարադես կդառնանք աստիճանաբար օրե-օր այս մեր ասկոկուտ կառույցի հիմնադրության եւ ստեղծման։ Այս կառույցը պիտի ծառայե հայ մշակույթի տարածման եւ պահպանման, ինչպես նաեւ համայն մարդկության։ Կոչ կնենք մեր համայնքին բոլոր անդամներուն մեծին ու փոքրին սադար կանգնելու եւ օգտակար լալու այս ծրագրի իրականացման եւ ուզեինք միասնաբար գերդել այս գեղեցիկ ասկոկուտ կառույցը հանուն հայության, հանուն մեր ժողովրդին եւ հանուն մեր համայնքին։ Շատ շնորհակալություն։
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. This is the historic groundbreaking ceremony honoring the Armenian American Museum. This is our live show. It is our pre-show where we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at everyone that essentially worked to bring this incredible project to fruition. Right now, I'd like to welcome Ambassador Armen Bayburtian, the Consul General to Armenia. This man essentially was the bridge from here to Yerevan. Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
How do you feel? You go back and forth between the motherland and here, and to have this representation, what does it mean to you?
The most interesting and exciting part of that is that California, and in particular Los Angeles, somehow apparently is perceived as an extension of Armenia, if I can tell you, and vice versa. Because the bridge is so powerful, is so strong, that unites both entities, that it's a real privilege to represent Armenia in California and the Western United States.
The breeze we're feeling tonight, I almost can feel that it's coming from all the way on the other side of the globe, because there's an energy in the air.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what has been your work in all of this, your part in all of this to facilitate the connection between here and Yerevan?
In overall terms, again, it comes to one very important notion, bridging California and Armenia, but in this case, in all respects. It's multidimensional work because it relates to the relations with the states, counties, cities of the Western United States, and building up those bonds with Armenia. Secondly, it relates to economic, business relations that I work on, but also, more importantly, not only California as the most important state in the United States being brought closer to Armenia, but also it's the Armenian American community in California that matters. And bridging this community with Armenia is an overarching task for me.
Absolutely, and I can only imagine what an honor it will be for you when we have dignitaries visiting from Armenia, or just people visiting from Armenia coming here and seeing the museum and our hard work as a diaspora in putting this together.
Absolutely, and today's groundbreaking ceremony is a milestone event because Armenian American Museum and Cultural Center of California has a very important mission. The mission is to connect the past of the Armenian community with the present, and more importantly, to project the future, because it envisages future also with all this important task. And I would add that its mission also not only to present Armenian civilization, not only to present the Armenian culture, but also to present human experiences, more importantly. And through that, to celebrate the diversity of Los Angeles, the diversity of different ethnic groups, specifically through highlighting the culture of one important community, Armenian American community.
Well, history certainly is being made today. Today is a groundbreaking ceremony, 7 years in the making. But when this place is officially complete, I can only imagine all of the events that will take place here, when we welcome dignitaries from Armenia, when we hold demonstrations here, celebrations here. Can you even imagine what an impact we're making for the future of not only this city, but also for this community?
When we talk about the impact, immediately one notion comes to my mind. When years back in 90s, I used to work in New York at the mission of Armenia to the United Nations. The New York's American Museum of Natural History has a very small Armenian exhibition, and millions of people, 4 or 5 million according to statistics, that visit this museum, were getting knowledge about Armenia through this small exhibition. And now we can at least try to imagine that such a state-of-the-art museum, what kind of an impact is going to have, not only for the Armenian American community here in California, for the entire community, for the entire state of California, but also for Armenia and Artsakh.
You know, we are everywhere simply because our history is so deep. I remember when I was at the Sistine Chapel, you step right outside and you see this great big statue, and it celebrates St. Grigor the Illuminator. So we are everywhere. In New York City at the Met, there is a room specifically dedicated to the Armenian Khachkar. And to think that we're going to have one space here that is going to house all of that, it's amazing. We have so much to tell, so much to share, and our history is so deep. Can you think of anything that you would like to specifically see here?
My dream is to see here all kind of arty crafts, different exhibitions. I'm talking mostly about the main permanent exhibition that displays Armenian identity, because Armenian identity is so all-encompassing that seeing that it will make a huge difference. But also, based on that, research and all other activities envisaged for the museum.
Well, speaking of the Armenian identity, there's also going to be a room that's going to be dedicated to Armenian cuisine, where people can come here to the museum and they can learn to cook like an Armenian, to taste like an Armenian. So that's going to be one of the highlights.
Exactly, and Armenian civilization is a distinct civilization, and not accidentally the oldest leather shoe was found in Armenia 5,500 years back. The oldest winery 6,100 years back. These are just small manifestations of the Armenian civilization, and here we'll have everything displayed in one place.
That's right. Very soon, in just a few short years, all of that will be on display.
It has taken more than 5 years of dreaming and planning. Today, we take the first concrete steps towards building the Armenian American Museum in the heart of Glendale, California. This museum will not just be a place where we collect and house historical artifacts, but it will be a place that will showcase and preserve Armenian culture and history, providing education to the visitor and promoting understanding. Southern California is home to over 500,000 Armenians, and it is time the entire community come together and build a structure that will be a home that represents us and help preserve our history and culture. These are challenging times for all Armenians, whether they live in Armenia, Artsakh, or the diaspora. And more than ever, it is important for the world to be aware of the tumultuous history of the Armenian nation and their contributions to civilization. The Armenian Missionary Association of America is a partner in this project, and we would like to encourage all Armenians to lend their support in whatever way they can. And I am quite certain that we will accomplish a goal that will make us all proud to be Armenians. Our congratulations to all on this happy occasion. Thank you.
So many congratulations that we are getting in from all over the world. Right now I am joined by one of the co-chairs for this event and also a member of the Board of Governors, Mr. Levon Filyan. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So you've been working on this event specifically for how long has it taken to put this on?
Well, this has been about 7 years, maybe 6 to 7 years, and this was the result of the 2015 genocide commemoration, and it became a factor to visualize how can we make this a permanent situation. So with visualize, it means you close your eyes and you say, how can we do a permanent place for the Armenian American community to learn about our past, to learn about our present, and to work together for a better future. So visualizing is what we started. Today, what we're doing is we're realizing by having the groundbreaking. So this is where we are, from visualizing to realizing.
And you are no doubt very passionate about that,
Exactly.
I can tell. Because it really is not enough to march every year in commemoration of the Armenian genocide. We do as much as we can, and there's so many organizations that work so hard to bring attention to our cause. But what we really need to do is to honor our past, and not just the dark side of our past, but also what makes our history so rich. And this museum will do that.
That is correct.
What are you looking forward to? You've been working behind all of this. What is something you specifically want to see?
Well, as I mentioned, we visualized for 7 years. Today, we're going to realize what's happening. And then within the next 3 years, with some energy, with some grit, with some hope, with some passion, we're going to materialize and have the Armenian American Museum right here in this location. And that's going to be for everybody, a school for the young, for the middle-aged, for the older, for the families, for the newly married, everybody.
So anyone who moves to Glendale in the next few years who has never met an Armenian, who's not that familiar, we're just going to point them in one direction and say, just go to the museum.
Not Glendale, we're talking about worldwide, my friend.
Worldwide, that's right.
Yes.
We take up way more territory.
Worldwide.
So if they are new, we point them in direction to this museum, and they will walk out maybe knowing a few words, maybe understanding about what we're known for. Armenians invented the first MRI machine that saved countless lives. I mean, that's just one example. What's something that you want people to learn about when it comes to Armenians?
I like to know that Armenians are not afraid. They are hopeful people. They are people with grit and perseverance, tenacity. Look at the last year. What happened in Artsakh, what happened in Armenia, what happened in Lebanon, what happened with the COVID all around. But we kept on going. It's called grit. It's called perseverance. And it's called enthusiasm. That's what the Armenians do. We build no matter what.
We are certainly very tenacious. And last year, as you mentioned...
Tenacious, that's a good
tenacious.
word.
Okay. Well, you can give me credit for it later.
Thank you, I will.
Last year with the pandemic, for more than a year and a half, you were working behind the scenes, but did you think that this event would be possible? I think just a few weeks ago you realized you would actually be able to hold this event in person.
Amazing to say, even though we couldn't meet in person, every other week we had meetings with the Board of Trustees, with the Board of Governors, and regular meetings for other events. We have met on a regular basis to put this event together, and I really like to thank everyone who has been part of it. Now, speaking about realizing, we need to energize that, and by energizing means we need everybody's support. Everybody's support. You can help us build this museum with your contribution and with your prayers.
So you have this platform today, sir. What is your plea to the public? What can people do between now and 2023 when the museum has its grand opening? How can people get involved?
Be an ambassador. Talk about the Armenian American Museum, what it stands for, and make every effort to contribute. 1 square foot, 1 square yard, major donation, you're all welcome. And we need your support, we need your tenacity, we need your prayers.
Everyone can be an ambassador, and it just takes one person to spread the message to get a conversation going. We'll send it back.
Amen.
As a member of the Armenian Youth Federation North Valley Artsakh chapter,
You guys.
I'd like to extend sincere appreciation to the Armenian American Museum for providing awareness and preserving our culture and heritage for current and future generations of Armenian Americans. The Armenian American Museum will showcase our rich history and serve as a bastion of our culture for Armenians and friends of the Armenian people here in the United States. The museum will serve as a long-standing testament to the influence that Armenians have had around the world, located in the center of the Armenian diaspora here in Los Angeles. Congratulations to the Armenian American Museum, building together, leaving a legacy.
you for joining us. I want to introduce you now to one of our founding fathers, essentially, of the Armenian American Museum. This man has been around since day one, and this is Zaven Gazazian. He is on the executive board, one of the executive chairmen of the Armenian American Museum. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing today?
Very good. I'm going to ask you to hold that a little higher.
This is
wonderful.
all right. Can you hear me? Okay.
Tell me about some of the early conversations when the idea first sparked to start something like this. What was the discussion between you and the executive team?
Well, when we first started talking about it, we wanted to do something that's going to be memorable, something that's going to be a landmark project, and something that's going to be a gift to the city of Glendale. And so we started with a number of ideas, and subsequent to that, we came with the idea, the fact that a museum is going to be truly something that we can be proud of. Subsequent to that, we started working on selecting an architect, and we had about 5 different architects that we considered. We looked at their projects, we went and interviewed them, and we decided the fact that Alajajian Marcusi, Aram Alajajian, and Sako Marcusi were the best suited for this project.
And what was it about his design that spoke to you that you said, this is it, this is what the museum is going to look like?
Well, it was the Armenianness. And one of the things is the fact that we saw the passion. Aram is extremely passionate for this project. Sako is extremely passionate for this project. So we really appreciate that. And when we started looking at the museum and we started looking at the design, it was basically acknowledging the mountainous regions of Armenia and the hills of Glendale. So it was truly a marriage of the two coming together. So it was something that we could say is the fact that this museum truly represents the Armenian community and the Glendale community, and it is basically a project that we can be proud to pursue.
What better gift to the community than a 55,000 square foot house that will essentially house our history?
Actually, we're looking to make sure the fact that we have our history and also to start working on our legacy and going forward to make sure the fact that we can always come here and say we are proud of this project. This is the project that we can all be proud of, and we want to make sure the fact that this is a museum not just for Armenians, it's for the entire community.
Absolutely.
We want to make sure the fact that the community supports it, and we appreciate the City of Glendale's contribution and support, and we look forward to continuous working with the City of Glendale and making this to become definitely a landmark project.
Of course, you cannot do anything without the proper funding. We know that. That is the reality of every situation. What did it take to get people to donate to something like this?
Well, it's like anything else. The funding started slow. However, we are grateful and very thankful to the state of California and to the county of Los Angeles, and at the beginning to the city of Glendale, because we have this project right now. It's for 95 years at $1 a year. So we are looking forward to an extended relationship with the city. And since then, the contribution and the working relationship we've had with the city has been fabulous. And we really appreciate it. We are thankful to the city manager. We're thankful to the city council and to the mayor. And we are extremely thankful to the entire project building committee because they've been behind it. And that's why we've got this project moving forward. And we're hoping the fact that sometime in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a groundbreaking, and we're going to see the fenced in and start the digging and making sure the fact that we start phase 1 of the project.
Absolutely. And we're so thankful to people like you. When I think about when I grew up in Glendale, I came to this park with my grandfather. I was 5 years old. He would play chess and backgammon with the other Armenian men here. And I don't think his generation ever even thought this would be a possibility. But it's people like you that have the vision, that have the tenacity, and put your heart and your soul into this. And now my children will be able to come here and experience something completely different, not just a park, but a dedication to the city of Glendale. Jewel City, and Armenians are a jewel in this city.
Elena, one thing I will say is that we knew you came here, and that's why we decided to do this here.
Oh, of course.
But it was just all for you. But more importantly, it's the fact that this is something that we can all be proud of.
Yes.
And I am delighted and grateful for all the contributions from everybody. It's a hard work. We commit to a number of hours. We work very hard for this project, but we're going to see this thing work, and it's going to happen. And I thank you very much for your contribution to this entire project. Thank you very much, Alina.
Thank you. It is absolutely my pleasure and my honor to be involved in this in any way that I can. And looking forward, of course, the work is just beginning. Now it is the second phase. And of course, securing funding is another part of that. What would you like to see in terms of fundraising, and how can the community step in to help?
Well, I think I heard a couple of my colleagues speak earlier, and everything adds, everything contributes. And one of the things is that we are extremely proud of the Armenian community stepping up. As I mentioned earlier, is the fact that the state of California, the county of LA, the city of Glendale, they've all been extremely supportive. However, we are also extremely supportive of the community that's coming together. We have some sponsors, you can see their names up there, and we have some legacy sponsors, we have some founding circle members, and we're gonna have a number of different major contributors, and all of these people are contributing this because they all see the vision. They see the fact that this museum is going to be something for our future, so that your kids, all the grandkids, come to this museum and say the fact that my parents contributed to this effort. They're going to come and say is the fact that this is where we are all excited to make sure the fact that we honor our past and also we honor what's coming next generations.
Very exciting things yet to come. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. Our program is continuing.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Los Angeles County Supervisor Catherine Barger. Congratulations to the Armenian American Museum and Cultural Center of California on this exciting milestone. Thank you to Berj Karpetian, Zavan Kazizian, and Shant Sahakian, and all the organizations who made the groundbreaking possible. I am so proud to represent the beautiful city of Glendale and the Armenian American residents who call it home. I can think of no more deserving or appropriate community to build this cultural and educational facility. Today's event is an important step in our effort to share this rich history of the Armenian people locally and around the world. In 2019, I was privileged to visit Armenia. On my trip, I gained a deeper understanding and appreciation for the Armenian culture and its deep history. I know this museum will help bring that same recognition here in Los Angeles County. We've come a long way over the past century in this effort. Just this April, the White House finally acknowledged the Armenian genocide, another important milestone bringing hard-fought recognition and a long-awaited honor to those who lost their lives. And in Los Angeles County, we commemorate and appreciate the immeasurable contributions of our Armenian community. Our Armenian residents carry their heritage with them and continue to write their own legacy today. Thank you all for uplifting the voices of our Armenian American community. I know this museum will have a profound impact for generations to come, which is why I was pleased to contribute $1 million toward this project. I truly look forward to seeing it come to fruition.
Catherine Barger is an incredible woman. I've had the honor of interviewing her several times, and the work that she's done for the Armenian American community, it's priceless, and she truly is a treasure in our city. So one other person I want to bring in, speaking of contributions, this is Mr. Vadim Davtyan. He is with Pacific BMW, and he single-handedly made sure that this event was paid for, essentially.
Not quite sure if single-handedly, but of course, thanks to Pacific BMW. I mean, the dealership has been in community for many years and is contributing for every event, basically, that is related to Armenian community. I want to emphasize the fact that we're not owned by Armenians, but the ownership of the dealership does understand the importance of being in Glendale, the center of the Armenian community outside of the United States, outside of Armenia, I should say. So we did it proudly, This is our second time. We were in Gala a couple years ago, and then of course this event.
Absolutely, and we all know the importance of contributions, because without that, unfortunately, we can't have events like this to commemorate this special day today. So when you go to your bosses and you say, this is an event that's happening, it is for the groundbreaking ceremony for the Armenian American Museum, how do you essentially sell that idea to them, for them to say, okay, I'm going to sign on the dotted line because I want to contribute to this?
Well, I'll tell you something interesting. I didn't get to go to my boss. He came to me.
Wow.
Because I actually helped raise money during the unfortunate events of the war, and the owners had doubled that contribution. And a few weeks ago, he actually approached me, what are we going to do about this? He said, let's go, let's do this. And I hope that every business in Glendale, outside Glendale, Los Angeles, worldwide, does take the sense of ownership of any event of this kind. This has been long overdue, but I'm glad it's happening.
We saw last year how the diaspora came together. Unfortunately, it was for a war, something we don't want to ever see again. But to see them come together now to celebrate our history, our future, it's incredible to have this event here today, given what we've gone through in the last year.
I think the most important thing here is the message. Every time I go on the website or I look at the posters of the building that is going to be standing over here, it's just groundbreaking, and it gives me goosebumps to talk about it. Being an Armenian, being in a community, involved in a community for this many years, I can see that every time the Armenian community gets together, they make the impossible possible.
Absolutely. No one rallies together the way that we do. And it's not just once a year, it's when we're needed, whether it's to support another Armenian business, whether it's to support anyone, essentially. If that person deserves that support, I think Armenians certainly step in and they ensure that that person goes for nothing. It's like having an Armenian neighbor. You know that they're going to be by your side.
Give you a cup of coffee or
invite you over for barbecue.
Exactly. And I want to assure that every time there is an event like this, Pacific BMW will try and will be next to the event and project. And I want to thank the organizers, the board, everyone, volunteers. I see that, and I feel so proud, the younger kids that are doing this. So congratulations to all of us.
Absolutely. It really does take a village. And when you talk about an event of this caliber, an undertaking of this caliber, I can only imagine the executive board years ago when they got the idea to create an Armenian American Museum. That's a big responsibility to take on an undertaking like that and to ensure that that idea gets fulfilled.
I agree. And I'm sure this took a lot of hard work. I mean, let's look at this location. It's like in the heart of Glendale. Let's start from location, from design, from the size of this project. Thank you. Thank you to all of you who organized this, who made this happen. And of course, the support of City of Glendale. Without that, it couldn't be a possibility. And of course, the sponsors too.
Absolutely. Well, we could do nothing without the people that believe in us and that support us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Hello, Barev, and greetings from the beautiful Garni Temple. My name is Tigrana, and I would like to congratulate the Armenian American Museum team for every single milestone all of you have accomplished thus far. My hope for the museum is that it serves as a cultural space and a community space for people of all backgrounds to come together, learn about the Armenian American experience, and through this create a new culture of peace, education, dialogue, and interconnectivity for the next generations. I congratulate you. I'm with you at heart and looking forward to seeing the museum become a reality.
Hi everyone, my name is Narega. I'm from Iran. I'm so excited for the groundbreaking ceremony of the Armenian American Museum. Մենք քիչ ենք, սակայն մեզ հայ են ասում. We are few, but we are called Armenian. It's a clear example why cultural heritage has a universal value for us. And it's important to preserve and pass on to future generations. And also, it has a key role to play in building the future. I wish Armenian American Museum a tremendous success. We are all we got. We have to stay together and united. It's time to rebuild and grow. Congratulations to the Armenian American Museum. Building together, living the legacy.
The Armenian American Museum is important to me and all Armenians across the globe because it allows us to honor our ancestors and what they fought for. I hope that this establishment serves as a reminder of our strength and robust culture. Congratulations to the Armenian American Museum, building together, leaving a legacy.
The Armenian American Museum will give the next generation, including my future children, something I never had. The chance to visit a museum that shares historical facts and stories that are directly linked to their ethnic background. It's also a place where people from all over the world will come and visit the diverse exhibitions and maybe learn about their own culture as well. I'm so proud and wish the museum all the best. As they say, building together, leaving a legacy. Thank you.
Being with us over the last 1 hour, meeting all of these amazing people that have served in critical roles in bringing the Armenian American Museum to where it is today, the groundbreaking ceremony. Today is an important day because it is a new beginning. The next few years, people will have to come together again to ensure that anything that is needed gets fulfilled, to make sure that in 2023, we're standing here at the ground, not only the groundbreaking, but the ground opening. So stay with us. This concludes our pre-show, and our official ceremony is just moments away.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please start making your way to your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your short seats. The program will begin shortly. I'm in position. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the historic groundbreaking ceremony of our Armenian American Museum. We would now like to introduce our special guests and dignitaries. Please join me in welcoming, with a round of applause, our Republic of Armenia Ambassador, Armen Baybutian, Consul General of the Republic of Armenia in Los Angeles. United States Congressman Adam Schiff. California State Senator Anthony J. Portantino. Assemblymember Audrine Nazarian. Assemblymember Laura Friedman. Representing the Los Angeles County Supervisor Catherine Barger, Chief of Staff Anna Muradian. City of Glendale Mayor Paula Devine. Council Member Ada Najarian. Council Member Varej Agajanian. Council Member Ardi Kasakian. Council Member Daniel Brotman. City Treasurer Rafi Manukian. City Clerk Adam Ajemian. City Manager Rubik Golanian. From the Glendale Unified School District, GUSD Board President Shant Sahakian. Board Vice President Nairi Nahabedian. Board Clerk Greg Krikorian. Board Member Jennifer Freeman. Board Member Dr. Armina Garapetian. And Superintendent Dr. Vivian Ekchen. From the Glendale Community College, Board President Dr. Armine Hagopian. Board Vice President Ann Ransford. Board Clerk Sebag Belnian. Board Member Desiree Portillo Robinov. Board Member Yvette Vartanyan Davis. Superintendent and President Dr. David Bayar. City of Burbank Mayor Bob Frutos. Vice Mayor Jess Telemontes. From the Burbank Unified School District, BUSD Board Member Armand Agakhanian. Los Angeles Unified School District Board Member Scott Samuelson. And Crescenta Valley Town Council President Harry Leon. We would also like to thank our generous sponsors. Armin Living, Athens Services, Jack and Maro Kalajian. Our gold sponsors, Bank of America, the Gaska Alliance Foundation, and Pacific BMW. And our silver sponsors, the Dikranian Foundation, and David and Margaret Bagrubian. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our groundbreaking host, Elina Abovian.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me here today. It is absolutely my pleasure and my honor. The support that I felt from this community over the last few years has meant absolutely everything to me. It has opened so many doors. It has given me the platform and the freedom to tell your stories. Thank you for joining us tonight. Not only the people in this audience, but also everyone watching at home. We have hundreds and thousands of people in the diaspora. Check. We have hundreds of thousands of people in the diaspora that are glued to their television screens, waiting in anticipation of what this museum will be in just 3 years. Tonight we get a glimpse, and we get a glimpse into the story of what it took to bring all of this into fruition. I'm a reporter for KTLA Channel 5 News, and with my job, I have the honor and the pleasure of telling stories that impact the Armenian American community here in Southern California. Unfortunately, part of the stories that I tell are about our past. We as Armenians, we have a lot of wounds. Some of our wounds go back more than 100 years. Some of our wounds we felt just last year. And some of the wounds we're feeling right now. But I strongly believe that in order to heal, we have to focus on building. After the genocide in 1915, Armenians fled to different parts of the world. And a lot of them came here to Glendale, our jewel city. And it's quite clear that we did not blend in. Armenians decided to stay true to themselves and to build upon this community, adding to this community, and being a part of the fabric of what makes Glendale so special. We started as humble immigrants here, trying to learn the language. But now when I look around, we have Armenian Americans serving as top rank within our city. That is an amazing accomplishment in just a few generations. When I first heard about this museum project, I was very excited for obvious reasons. But then I started thinking about my 2 young sons. I thought about their school field trips to this museum, especially when they will be here with their non-Armenian friends. They'll be walking the halls, and I hope my son will point to things and very proudly say, "You see that right there? That's right. Armenians, we are the first Christian nation. Armenians did create the MRI machine. And that tiny little dot on the map, Yerevan, is one of the oldest cities in the world. Our history runs very deep, deeper than our wounds. Our history is very rich. And now it'll be on full display for anyone who visits this city to experience it, to see it, and to carry it with them." Growing up in Glendale, and I've lived here my entire life, all I ever wanted was to be on television. I looked at the anchors on the evening news, and I thought, one day, I want to be just like them. And even though my parents really supported me, they weren't too enthused about their daughter trying to pursue a career in television that they didn't know much about. Essentially, they thought, that's possibly not for us. We don't speak the same way. We don't look the same way. and we have very different, difficult last names. Well, being the tenacious Armenian that I am, I pursued it anyway. Flash forward 30 years later, I was invited to my news director's office when I was working in San Diego, and we were joined by our general manager, essentially the most powerful man in LA News. And he said, "We would love for you to come and join KTLA. You want me to join the top-rated news program in all of Southern California." And it was for 3 simple letters, IAN. That is something I, of course, am very proud of, but it is something that all of you should be very proud of, because this is the community you've built, and your representation is now needed. Representation is something we talked a lot about over the last year, and we understand how important it is. This museum will be a shining beacon of hope. We're very thankful to that building for providing us with the shade tonight, but Armenians are not in the shade anymore in this city. It is my honor to be here tonight. I am so excited for what this museum will represent, for our past, our present, and for our future. Thank you.
The historic groundbreaking of the Armenian American Museum marks a major milestone that has been years in the making.
The Armenian American Museum was born in 2014 when the Armenian Genocide Centennial Committee, Western USA, officially adopted the museum as its landmark project, as a message of strength, perseverance, and hope for future generations.
The museum established its mission to promote understanding and appreciation of America's ethnic and cultural diversity by sharing the Armenian American experience.
The vision is a cultural campus that enriches the community, educates the public on the Armenian American story, and empowers individuals to embrace cultural diversity and speak out against prejudice.
10 prominent Armenian American cultural, philanthropic, and religious nonprofit organizations united to form the museum's Board of Trustees.
The museum welcomed more than 10,000 visitors for its inaugural exhibition, Armenia, An Open Wound, in partnership with Museo Memoria y Tolerancia.
The iconic and inspiring design of the Armenian American Museum was unveiled by the visionary Alajagian Marcusi architects. A major expansion and transformation of the museum campus at Central Park was announced, creating the new central gathering place for the city of Glendale. The ground lease agreement was officially approved by the Glendale City Council, marking Central Park as the future home of the Cultural and Educational Center.
The museum hosted its inaugural gala with over 1,000 guests, including Los Angeles County Supervisor Catherine Barger, who surprised the museum with a generous $1 million contribution.
The inaugural telethon marked the museum's next major event, with a global audience joining the live broadcast.
The Board of Trustees appointed the museum's first executive director, Mr. Sean Sahakian.
Governor Gavin Newsom dedicated $5 million to the museum in the California state budget, bringing the total investment to an unprecedented $8 million, building on the funds secured by Senator Anthony J. Portantino and Assemblymember Audrine Nazarian.
Supporters, community leaders, public officials, and esteemed honorees joined together once again for the signature event of the year, the second annual gala.
The museum commenced the schematic design of the permanent exhibition, the core experience of the museum that will be dedicated to the history, culture, and heritage of the Armenian people and the Armenian American experience.
The Board of Trustees established the inaugural Board of Governors with philanthropic, business, and community leaders who have a shared vision and passion for the project.
Today, the museum begins a new and exciting chapter for the world-class cultural and educational center that will serve for generations to come. The Armenian American Museum, building together, leaving a legacy.
It's incredible to think what this property will be in just a few short years. If you live in Glendale, I'm sure at one point or another you've been to this park. I remember I would come here with my grandpa when I was 5 years old. I would run around and he would play backgammon and chess with the other men here at the park. So it's such a full circle feeling to imagine what he would think to see me with this honor today. With that said, it takes a few people that truly have the vision to bring something like this to life. And one of those people is the executive director, Shant Sahakyan.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the Board of Governors, and the executive leadership, we're very proud to officially welcome you to the historic groundbreaking ceremony of the Armenian American Museum. Today marks years of work that has gone into make this historic moment possible. It also marks a special and exciting new chapter that now will begin in the Central Park in the city of Glendale, in the state of California and the United States, with the fruition of this historic project right here in the city of Glendale. And there's a famous African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Today also represents what our community can accomplish when we're working together with united mission and united purpose. And so this museum is your museum. It is our accomplishment. It is our historic moment to celebrate today. And today, yes, today is a celebration of the museum, but it is more importantly a celebration of our community and all we can accomplish when we are working together. Welcome, enjoy the program, and thank you for your continued support.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd ask you to rise and welcome to the stage Alexandria and Lilia Yeralian of AGB Los Angeles Choir to perform the America National Anthem and Armenian.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
Thank you for being here tonight. I know that it's hard to brave the heat and the sun, but you are all here witnessing history today for this groundbreaking ceremony. Needless to say, this took 7 years of hard work behind the scenes to bring today and to make it possible. So hang in there. At this time, I would like to introduce the Board of Trustees. Archbishop Hovnan Derderian of the Western Diocese of Armenian Church of North America. Bishop Torkom Donoyan, Western Prelacy, the Armenian Apostolic Church. Father Armenak Bedrosyan of Armenian Catholic Eparchy. And Reverend Burj Jambazian of the Armenian Evangelical Union.
Օրտնյալ դեր մեր Հիսուս Քրիստոս ամեն, հայր մեր, որ երգինս ես, Սուրբ Եղիցի անուն քո, եկեցե արքայություն քո, եղիցին գամ քո, որպես երգինս սևերգի, ըսած մեր հանաբազոր դուր մեզ այսօր, և թող մեզ զբարդիս մեր, որպես և մեկ թողունք մերոց բարդաբանած, և մի դանիրս մեզի փորձություն, այլ բրգյազ մեզի չարե, Զիքոյ արքայություն և զորություն և պար, հավիդյանս հավիդենից, ամեն։
Եվ եվս խաղությանս դերա աչեսուկ ընգալ գեցո և որմյա։
Օրնություն և պարքոր և որդվո և հոգույն սրպո այժմ և միշտ և հավիդյանս հավիդենից, ամեն։
Խաղություն ամենեցում և ընթով հույթքով Սրպո ավետարանիս Հիսուս Քրիստոսի որս Մատյոսի Պարքեզ դեր Աստված մեր բրոս խոմեր Նոսե Աստված Դեր մեր Հիսուս Քրիստոս ասեր Ուրեմն ով որ գսիմ խոսքերս գլսե և գգործատրեզանոն Բիդի նմանի այն իմաստուն մարդուն որ իր դունը ջայրի վրա գիշին է, անցևները գուկան կեդերը գորտին, հովերը պիչեն, և գզարնվին դան, բայց դունը չի գործանիր, որովհետև ջայրի վրա հաստատված է, իսկ ով որ իմ այս խոսքերս գլցե, բայց չի գործատրել զանոն, Բիդի նմանի այն հիմար մարդուն, որ իր դունը ավազի վրա գիշին է, անցևները գուկան, կեդերը գորտին, հովերը գպիչեն և գզարնվին դան, և դունը գգործանի, և ինչա որ գլայ, դան գործանում։
A reading from the Holy Gospel of Jesus Christ according to St. Matthew, chapter 7, verses 24 to 27. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand, and the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell. And great was its fall.
Օրհնե դեր այս հողը, որում վրա պիտի գառուցվի հայազգի նահատակ սուրբերու իշադակին ցոնված թանքարանը, իբրև խոսուն վկայություն վասն հավատի և վասն հայրենյաց, Թող այս կառույցը դառնա հիշեցում քալիք սերունդներուն, որբեսի հավատարմությամբ շարունակեն ամուր բահել իրենց հավանթված հավատքի ու հայրենիքի արժեքներն ու սրբությունները։ Almighty God, you are the giver of all the good tidings and success. Bless your people who are gathered here and grant them all your divine wisdom and blessings so that they may always be vigilant in their services and dedication to bring this project to realization. Bless also, O Lord, this soil upon which the Armenian American Museum is to be built in memory of the martyrs and saints of the genocide as a living monument of their faith. We pray, God, so that this monument be a living message, a message of peace to the world, to spread the love and harmony in the life of the world. Keep us always from all tribulations and fortify our life on the rock of your wisdom, for you are the foundation of all lives and the truth. We surrender our lives into your hands and glorify your holy name, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Բահբանյազ մեզ Քրիստոս ասված մեր ընթովանյավ սուրբ եւ բատվական խաչի վտկովի խաղաղության փրկե ազատյա հերևելի եւ աներևույթ տշտամյաց արժանավորյա քոհությամբ փարավորելս քեզ ընթոր եւ ընծրփողոքվույթ այժմ եւ միշտ եւ ավիտյանս հավիդենից ամեն
Amen. Alleluia. 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 Ornesi sırpesi hoğes aysını şanam. Surpaçise surpavedaranam. Yevavurış nori vanvan por yevortvo yevokuyserpol. Ajmemişeva vidya savidenit. Amen. Alleluia. 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 Ornesi yev sırpesi hoğız ays nişanav. Surpaçise surpavedaranam. Yevavurış nori vanvan por yevortvo yevokuyserpol. Ajmemişeva vidya savidenit. Amen. Alleluia. 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 Ornesi ev sırpesi hoğız aysını şanam. Surpaçise surpavedaranam. Yevavurış nori vanvan por yevortvo yevokuyserpol. Ajmemişeva vidya savidenit. Amen. Օրնություն եւ արփոր եւ որդվո եւ ոգույն սրբով Այժմ իշև ավիդյան սավիդենից Ամեն Սիրելիներ Այսօր Գլենդեյլի մեջ կբացվի քաղաքի բադմության նոր ու լուսավոր էջմը հայ-ամերիկյան թանկարանի ծրագրի դեսիլքի իրականացման ճանապարհին հայոց ցեղասպանության ոգեգոճման 100-ամյակի նախօրեին ծնունդ արավ այս ծրագիրը որու մեջ մենք կտեսնենք մեր ազգի զավակած վերածնունդը եւ հաղթական երթը դեպի լուսավոր արշալույսներ հայ-ամերիկյան թանկարանը պիտի լախորը տանիշը մեր մայր երկրի եւ պատկամը խաղաղության եւ ստեղծագործ կյանքի Distinguished guests, dearest brothers and sisters, what brings us all here today is God's dream. God has a dream, and we are called to fulfill God's will and the vision of the martyrs. We are called to leave a legacy of the spirit of resurrection for our children and to deliver a resounding message of peace to the world. God has a dream to see the world in peace, where humanity lives a creative life in sharing with one another our God-given gifts. The Armenian American Museum will be the symbol of human dignity. This museum will be a center of art, culture, and history to send out to the world a message of a creative life, to be the best venue of cherishing the sacredness of beauty of life. I call on you all to become a partaker of this most God-pleasing mission, which unites us all to be one family in the heart of the city of Glendale. I call on you to be the living stones with your faith and wisdom. No other gift can be more valuable for our generation and the generations that will follow than this lighthouse, which would alert us to be vigilant in the pursuit of exemplary citizenship and loyal adherence of our rich heritage. Here in this museum, we become one in spirit to show the world the creativity of our people. May the good Lord bless this noble undertaking and protect you and your loved ones under his benevolent right hand. Amen.
Սիրելի եւ թանկագին ժողովուրդ, թող որ Հոր Աստուծո օրհնությունը, Հիսուս Քրիստոսի շնորհքը, հոգվույն սրբո բարգևները մնայուն ներկայություն դառնան մեր ազգի զավակած կյանքեն ներս, իմ այր Հայաստան, Արցախ, Միացյալ Նահանգներն Ամերիկայի եւ իսպյուրս աշխարհի. Dear friends, I greet you all with Christian love and spiritual joy on this very important day as we have gathered together to witness a historical achievement. Today we are conducting the groundbreaking of the Armenian American Museum, which will serve as a cultural center not only for Armenian people, but also for all people. I personally see three important concepts encompassed in this project. First, this campus is invited to be a center where history will be told and preserved, where culture and heritage will be celebrated and promoted. Second, this center invited to symbolize the unity and the oneness of the Armenian people, which survived and flourished despite being subjected to genocide. Third, the museum that today we see with our spiritual eyes is invited to be a gesture of appreciation to America and our American sisters and brothers whose brotherhood and love we enjoy in this great country. Finally, the building will not be just a physical structure. It will be the shining pearl of the city of Glendale. It will be a beacon of hope for the county of Los Angeles and the state of California. Ահա այս ապրումներով հեղմը եւս գողջունեմ ցես թանկագին ժողովուրդ, հավատալով մեր բոլորին ճիքերով ամենամոդիկ աբակային պիտի բարձրացվի հայ ամերիկյան տանկարանը, որ մեր ժողովրդի կյանքեն ներս պիտի ըլլա ջարակայթող ներկայություն եւ թե մեզի համար եւ թե օդարներուն համար պիտի դառնա մեր ինքնությունը շողացնող գենթանի վգայարան օրտնյալ է Աստված։
Սիրելիներ, թույլ տվեք, որ անգլերենով արտահայտվեմ. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we are gathered together to rejoice and celebrate the groundbreaking of Armenian American Museum. By God's grace, we are together. By God's grace, we are celebrating together. This is like an important milestone in our history. Through this project, we are experiencing an unprecedented, this is my personal feeling, and I think a lot of you think the same way, unprecedented unity in the Armenian community. Through this unity, we have greater relationship with the city of Glendale, with LA County, and the state. Berj Karabedyan, I'm mentioning him, is the chair of the Board of Trustees. I found in him a man of character, a man of integrity, a man of vision and perseverance. He gathered around him highly professional team and encouraged them, inspired them, and worked with them to come to this point that we're experiencing today together during the groundbreaking. Our goal is to build, yes, Berj deserves that applause. Thank you, thank you. Our goal is to build a legacy project of national and worldwide scope. It is for all people, as Sirpazan said. We would like to embody the last phrase of our Pledge of Allegiance: liberty and justice for all nations, for all cultures, for all people. Liberty is God's grace and gift. Justice is rooted in the very nature of God and his character. I'm so happy you're here today. Join us, be one of us, and together we will accomplish our holy and solemn project that God has entrusted us. Thank you, and God bless you.
In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, he says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, the plans of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and hope." For us today, the word groundbreaking stands for far more than the literal breaking of the ground. It stands for groundbreaking of the Armenian American Museum. A place will be full of nations, history, and culture, devoted to explore and documenting and showcasing the Armenian American story and its impact, not just in United States of America, but on the whole world. And to remind us Armenians for how we came and why, to start fresh and to begin a new place from what we had learned and carried from the past. Groundbreaking stands for the synergy between our history and gives hope for the future. It stands for our unity and the wisdom of our leaders and our donors, our committees, in choosing to invest in the future. And it stands for the generosity of our people, donors, who love to live and want to share their rich history with generations to come. You know, a Roman philosopher named Marcus Cicero said, "To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. For what is the worth of a human life unless it's woven into the life of our ancestors by the records of history?" Ladies and gentlemen, an ignorance of history, of the cultures, and a lack of critical skills make it easier for others to manipulate us. Far from being impractical, studying history and cultures will equip us and our people and the new generations with the tools to become active, informed, and engaged global citizens. A Jamaican activist said, his name Marcus Garvey, said, "The people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture are like a tree without roots." Well, I'll tell him, we are the roots. We have the roots, and we are planting our roots here. May God bless this ground, and each one of you bless our leaders and the donors and everybody making good in the community and in the state of California. God bless America.
We spoke earlier about the importance of representation. And here in the city of Glendale, we could not be luckier to have representation right here within our city council. People that are devoted to bringing issues forward and seeing them to the finish line. With that said, I would like to welcome our esteemed mayor, Ms. Paula Devine. Council member Ara Najarian. Council member Vrej Agajanian. And Council member Artie Kasakian. Also Council member Daniel Brotman.
Okay, how excited are we to be here today, tonight? We did it, you worked hard, and here we are, the first step to a dream come true, a reality. So it's an honor, of course, to be here on this momentous occasion, and I'm so proud to have been with you from the beginning. And I was reminded it was 2014 when I sat in a hotel and Aram and Sako said, "This is what we're dreaming of." And I said, I love it, I love it. It's been a long time coming, and I'm so proud to be here now. The time will come when no one will be around to recount firsthand stories about the Armenian genocide. what was witnessed, and the people's willingness to carry on and to thrive. That's why what is being built here will not just be an accomplishment during our lifetime, it will become an everlasting monument. For myself, as your mayor, and on behalf of my colleagues on the City Council who are here with me today, it's truly an honor to break ground on this landmark center. We are honored to welcome the developing Armenian American Museum and Cultural Center of California to our vibrant and thriving community. The museum will be nestled here in the nucleus of our arts and entertainment district. This project will be an arts and culture destination for residents and visitors. Hello? Okay, are we on? Okay. This project will be an arts and culture destination for residents and visitors from throughout the region and from around the world. The Armenian American Museum represents an invaluable investment in arts, in culture, in education, and in this community. In moments like this, I think about our Glendale students and students from around the world. I think about your children and your grandchildren and the thousands of visitors who will stand where we stand today for years to come. And I think about what I want them to experience. I think about what I want them to learn. I want them to recognize and appreciate the resiliency and the courage of our Armenian community and your ancestors. I want them to realize the importance of never forgetting and never allowing history to repeat itself. I want them to embrace cultural diversity and speak out against prejudice. And I want them to understand and appreciate America's ethnic and cultural diversity, a mission that is important now more than ever. That is the history we will preserve and the learning we will provide within the walls of this museum. Let us take a moment again, please, because they deserve it, a round of applause for all of those who helped to make this a reality. Congratulations, congratulations to all of you. As your mayor, I thank you for your contributions to this community and all the hard work that led to this day. My colleagues and I are honored to be part of this groundbreaking and excited to share this dream, this museum, with our community and with the world. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite each of my colleagues to come up and share with you their thoughts on today. And I'll start with Councilmember Agajanian.
Every night I get this microphone, and for 21 years I speak for 1 hour. Now I was told to speak for 1 minute. I'm used to it. I have to speak for you for 1 hour. I can't do otherwise. But don't worry. I was just on April 24 on TV. I was talking about the Armenian genocide. When Anwar, Talyat, and Jamal, they arranged the Armenian genocide beginning from 1910 on until 1923. However, they said, let's get rid of Armenians, and we're going to keep one Armenian, and we put the person in a museum. And I was thinking, how different this going to be. This will be a museum for all those to remember what happened to Armenians when they come here, and also we will be able to show what we have accomplished. Not only there will be one Armenian in museum, but will be a museum for everybody, for good-hearted people of the world to come here and see our accomplishment. Ես ինչպես քիչ առաջ ասացի, Թալիաթի, Անվարի եւ Ջամալի եւ ուրիշ թուրք ղեկավարների նպատակն էր մեկ հայ լինի, կոտորեն հայերին եւ այդ մեկին լինի մյուզեումում լինի այդ հայը։ Հիմա տեսնում ենք այս մյուզեեն պետք է գա եւ ցուցադրի, որ մենք ինչպես ձեռքբերումներ ունեցանք այս վերջին տարիներում եւ ցույց տանք ինչպես մենք մարդկային բնավորություն ենք ցույց տվել, ուր գնացել ենք, կերտել ենք, ուր գնացել ենք, սարքել ենք, ուր գնացել ենք, օգտակար ժողովուրդ ենք եղել, ծափարեք ենք ձեզ համար։ Մենք միայն կառուցել ենք ու օգտակար ենք եղել հանրությանը, ժողովուրդներին, որևէ երկրում, որտեղ ապրեն ենք, բոլորը հիացած են եղել հայի աշխատանքով եւ իրենց ծառայությամբ այդ ազգի վերելքին մասնակից են եղել։ Շնորհակալություն։ Now, Council Member Armenian.
I was going to back clean up, but being the longest serving member on the Glendale City Council, it's been 16 years now, I've seen this museum concept from its very fruition, from the germination of the idea. At first, we were going to look at a spot near Glendale College, and we thought that was the best spot. All right, near the college. But we ran into a little difficulty with the neighbors. Being the very sensitive group that we Armenians are, we spoke to the city manager, and this, when I say we, especially the museum committee, spoke to the then city manager, Scott Ochoa, and he suggested this wonderful spot, which is ground zero of Glendale downtown. You've got our great buildings all around, shopping, residences, Brand Boulevard. It's really the best spot in all of Glendale. And I'm very proud to have been a part of this. I look forward to the day that my children, our children, and our grandchildren can come to this museum and learn about our heritage and our culture. It's something that not just Armenians, but the entire community, the region, the state, the world will come to enjoy. And it's been a very difficult year for Armenians. I don't need to tell you. This is perhaps the best and brightest spot during that year. I mean, right now as we speak, we know what they're doing in Armenia and in Artsakh. They're destroying our khachkars. They're turning our churches into God knows what, Albanian, Orthodox, whatever. They're digging up our graves and throwing our dead and knocking down the gravestones. And I bet right now, because we're being live streamed, somewhere in an office in Baku or Ankara, there are members of the Azeri and the Turkish government that are looking at this. And they're stomping their feet and they're clenching their fist in disappointment. Look at these damn Armenians. Well, let me tell them something, and let's all tell them something. We can make our fists too. And when we make our fists, we say, Getse Hayastan, Getse Artsakh. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all of our elected officials who have helped contribute to making this a reality today. Thank you to the city staff. They deserve another round of applause, not only because of all the work they've done, but all the work they're still going to do and we're going to have them do to make this into a reality. When we were singing the national anthems of both the United States and Armenia, the last stanza of the Armenian national anthem says the following in English. It says, death is inevitable, but envy the one who dies in the cause of liberty and freedom for his nation and people. And when you think about the year, as my colleague, Councilmember Najarian mentioned, when you think about the year that we've experienced as Armenians, where roughly 5,000 of our young compatriots in Armenia died in that very cause, it's very difficult to find moments of hope. To put it in perspective to our non-Armenian friends, it would be the equivalent of over 500,000 young Americans losing their lives in a matter of 44 days. That was the loss that Armenia has experienced. And that is only the most recent loss that we've experienced, because we've had to endure tremendous hardships, tremendous moments that have tried us. So to have this moment of hope here today in Glendale, to one of the largest communities, in the home of one of the largest communities of the Armenian people, is truly inspiring. And I'm glad that it's happening today, because today is one of my favorite holidays. For those who don't know, it's Vartevar, right? Vartevar, for our non-Armenian friends, it's a festival where we get to throw water at you. We throw water at each other. It's one of every Armenian child's favorite holidays, but in the Armenian Christian tradition, although it has its roots in our pagan, over 5,000-year-old history, it's the celebration of the transfiguration of Christ, when Christ became radiant in all of the light of the glory of the Lord upon the mountain, giving hope to humanity. So how appropriate is it that we are here today on Vartevar to consecrate this ground, to put our shovels in the dirt and say that we are ready to do the work to make sure that this nation of young, hardened, tough people will not perish from this earth. So I want to thank all of the people that have made this possible. I get to hold the shovel, but I'm one of the newest members of this council. There are many other council members, like Councilmember Garpetian and countless others, Councilmember Manuk, and others who have paved the road to come forward to here, and whose hands also belong on this shovel. Every single one of you deserves to be up here holding the shovel with us. And so I want to say personally, as someone who's lived in Glendale since I was a young child, to be up here to help break the ground for this museum in a city where 20 years ago today, there was a concerted effort to recall the mayor of the city for lowering the flag in front of City Hall to commemorate the Armenian genocide. There was an effort to recall him. Thousands of signatures were collected in Glendale by our neighbors, our compatriots. And at that time, that council decided we need to find a way to bring the community together. 3 things came out of that committee, one of which was to have a spot for a monument in Glendale, which eventually became the dream that is going to become a reality here today. That is powerful. When this museum is built, it will not only be a repository and a well of information for our young next generations to come, Armenian and non-Armenian, but it will also be a symbol against the intolerance, against the bigotry, against everything that we have had to suffer as a community. I want to thank the museum and community. Most of all, I want to thank each of you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Dan Brotman, and I, along with Councilmember Kasakian, are newcomers on the City Council. I just want to say that this community and everybody that's worked to get to where we are today should be very, very proud of themselves. Any large project like this is difficult. There are always competing interests. There are objections from the community. There are so many barriers to get through. But in this case, there were roadblocks, there were challenges that nobody could have ever imagined. A huge pandemic, the likes of which we haven't seen in 100 years. One of the deepest and most destructive economic hits that we have taken since the Great Depression. And of course, the vicious attack on the homeland of Armenia and on Artsakh by the Turks and their proxies in Azerbaijan. Any one of these things could have derailed this project, but here we are. You have all soldiered on. Everybody that's been part of this has shown an incredible amount of tenacity and determination. And I think you need to all be proud of that. And I guess I shouldn't be so surprised, because in the short time that I've been on city council and that I've gotten to know many people in the Armenian community, I've learned that one of the key traits of Armenians is tenacity and persistence. And if it weren't for tenacity and persistence, we wouldn't have the contributions that we see from the Armenian community here in Glendale and in the United States and around the world. So I want to give credit to all of you for where we are, and I look forward to being here again when the museum is consecrated. Thank you.
Thank you again to our Glendale City Council. I want to, for a moment, recognize a few people in our crowd, because these are also major supporters. First, Mr. Vahe Karapetyan. Mr. Karapetyan, whose daughter is a good friend of mine, has been such a major supporter to this community. He's essentially dedicated his life to uplifting this community. Sitting very close by is a friend and mentor of mine, and that is Dr. Eric Israelian. Many of you might know Eric as the executive producer of the film The Promise, but he's also a philanthropist, a humanitarian, and single-handedly spearheaded the opening of the Armenian Genocide Institute at UCLA. And someone who's very special to me that's in the crowd that I just want to point out, he's new to LA. He's my boss at KTLA, our news director, Mr. Pete Sayers. He very graciously accepted my invitation for tonight, and even though he's an incredibly busy man, he decided to spend tonight with us, and that means absolutely the world to me. Our next speaker is the groundbreaking chair and Board of Trustee co-treasurer. I'd like to welcome Talin Yakubian.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to see everyone here. As an organizer of public events, you wonder until the last minute if anyone will actually come. After the difficult year we've all experienced, today is certainly a bright light and a beacon of hope for better times ahead. This museum is yours and mine. We no longer have to work for temporary exhibits or pop-ups that fall short of our expectations. This will not be a one-time march, meeting, or event that is seen and forgotten. This is a priceless chance to show the world our long fights, our perseverance, incredible accomplishments, and rich heritage. The idea of the museum emanated in the planning stages of the Centennial Commemoration Committee, where it was our hope that the unified work of our community would extend beyond a single day, April 24, 2015, the 100th anniversary of the genocide. Today's groundbreaking, 6 years later, is a testimony that through the work of our unified community, the support of the good citizens of Glendale, the strong leadership of the City Council, who you just heard, and the financial support of the County of Los Angeles, the State of California, our partners, and our generous donors, many of whom are here today and deserve a round of applause, we can proudly educate others of our history, culture, heritage, and showcase talent. Every single dollar donated so far was made to an idea, on faith, and we are grateful and humbled by this unwavering and unconditional support. Our museum will be a storehouse of our culture and traditions. It will be filled with never-before-seen collections that can even teach us Armenians things we did not know. Winston Churchill once said, "The farther backward you can look, the farther forward you can see." The museum will bridge our past and allow us to shape the future. What an incredible privilege that is. Our museum will hold the stories of your Armenian American neighbors, friends, teachers, and students whose families came to this country to establish a life for their posterity. It would offer a space for you to understand Armenians through our lens. But what you see and internalize from the museum will be unique to you and different than those of your brothers and sisters. And that is very powerful and important experience. Museums are for gathering the collective memory of cultures, but also for inspiring people to be more creative, innovative, helping advance the whole of society. But this won't just be a museum. It will be a place of learning, growing, appreciation, and invitation. We will show our children that they are part of the American story and their family's history can be valued and appreciated. It is not about our displays, but about what happened to us, how we were affected, and how we overcame and grew together as a community afterwards. Our hope is not to create a museum for Armenians, but to reach out our hands and invite those from different cultures to experience our talent and to offer their own contributions. I know why I am here today, and I know why you are here today. I know we are all here because we passionately believe that our museum will set an example of education far beyond the art it houses. I am proud to say that our hope is well on its way to becoming a reality. Soon, we will all be gathered here again to cut the ribbon and to open the doors for the Armenian American Museum. To close with another Churchill quote, I say this: "We shape our buildings. Thereafter, they shape us." Thank you.
Hello, I'm Senate President Pro Tempore Tony Atkins. It is my pleasure to join you virtually today to congratulate you on the groundbreaking of the Armenian American Museum and Cultural Center of California. Today's event is the product of years of hard work. This museum and cultural center will serve as a nexus where the next generation of Armenian Americans can learn about their heritage and continue to contribute to our flourishing Armenian communities across the state. Centers like this one are the heart of the diversity we celebrate here in California and the soul of the communities they serve. They're where stories are shared, where traditions are honored, and where people can find commonality. California has the largest Armenian community in the United States, and we are proud that so many Armenians call this state home and are a vital part of the California story. I also want to take a moment to recognize Senator Anthony Portantino and his leadership of the California Armenian Legislative Caucus. His advocacy has been a constant source of information for so many of us in the legislature. He always makes sure that I know what's going on in the community and includes me as often as he can. So thank you for inviting me to be a part of this very special day. Shanor Havorim Yem. Congratulations again.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us now welcome California State Senator Anthony J. Portantino.
This is exciting, isn't it? Let's make some noise. This is a celebration. They told me to inject a little excitement, so I'm injecting excitement. I'm coachable. Honored clergy, it is such an honor to be here with you. Let's say our thanks to our clergy from all of the churches that are here today. The City of Glendale officials and staff, let's give them a big round of applause. Think of what President Biden did on April 24th, and let's give it up for Congressman Adam Schiff, who has been demanding genocide recognition in the White House and in Congress for his entire term of service. So let's give it up for Congressman Schiff. And I want to say thank you to Pro Tem Atkins. You know, I get credit for getting funding to help this project, but without the leadership's blessing, without the support of Senator Atkins and Governor Newsom, this would not have happened from the state of California. So we need to say thank you to the California leadership for investing $8 million into this project. You know, we've all heard that wonderful William Soroyan quote where he talks about what can happen when two Armenians come together, right? The magic, the aftermath, after the sorrow of the genocide. But there's another Soroyan quote that I want to use today. He said, "In the time of your life, live, so that in that wondrous time you shall not add to the misery and sorrow of the world, but shall smile to the infinite delight and mystery of it." Today we smile with that delight. Today we share in the promise, and the promise producers here, we share in that promise, we share in that hope, and we share in the delight. Several of the speakers have used words like center, together, place, culture, heritage. I want to add the word magic. Because when this museum and cultural center is built, it will have magic. Because it'll have an Armenian and a non-Armenian first grader come here on a class trip. And they will hold hands as they walk through the exhibits. And their teacher will be proud, and they'll go home and they'll share those stories. And then that first grader will come back when they're a teenager and they'll bring their parents. And they'll have a magical moment. And then the grandparent, perhaps a descendant of a survivor with firsthand accounts, will see the magic in the eyes of those students as they walk through this center and learn about the culture, the heritage, certainly the genocide and the survival and the stories that came out of that heinous act. That's the magic that we will have with this wonderful cultural center. That's the magic that's going to be created today. That's why I'm so proud to represent Glendale and proud to represent the 25th State Senate District and proud to stand in solidarity on this stage today with all of you who made this happen. The board of directors, the donors, the supporters, the city council, everybody that has come together to make magic on this site. It is a special, special moment that we should all feel together. And remember, our founding fathers in this country used that word all. They didn't say select, right? They said all. This is a place for all of us to unite behind and celebrate and feel good and feel proud. Now, certainly, as it's been said, the challenges in ARTSOC this year, the horror in ARTSOC, the horror, the violence, the death, the people being held against their will. We need to speak out against that, but we also need to showcase the best of the Armenian people and the Armenian spirit, and that's what we're doing in Glendale today. Thank you very much for letting me be part of this. God bless you. God bless the board, and let's celebrate with excitement this groundbreaking today.
Hey everybody, it's Governor Gavin Newsom here, and it's a privilege to be with you today at this historic groundbreaking of the Armenian American Museum and the Cultural Center in beautiful Glendale, California. You know, Armenians throughout the diaspora, and especially here in California, have demonstrated what it means to be resilient. You've made incredible contributions to California in all industries, including but not limited to business and government, education. Hundreds of thousands of Armenians call California home. You're a vibrant, united, and successful community whose voice and impact has grown and thrived throughout the years. You know, this museum, which has been also years in the making, is a testament to that perseverance and the determination of a community that's worked so hard. I was lucky enough to support this project a number of years ago, during my first year as governor, by setting aside $5 million in that 2019-2020 budget. Why? Well, pretty simple, because not only my staff, but all of us up here in Sacramento believed in it. We believe in promoting not just an understanding and appreciation of Armenian culture, but the appreciation and understanding of America's ethnic and cultural diversity. By empowering individuals with knowledge of other cultures, our goal, our collective goal, is to wipe out prejudice once and for all. And as you build this symbol of the Armenian community and its resilience, you're also preserving the legacy of the 1.5 million lives taken in 1915 during the Armenian genocide, and those who still suffer from brutality all around the globe. You know, we join together to make sure the truth of what happened in 1915 is heard loud and clear, and through our collective voice to show the world that diversity, community, and the Armenian spirit is alive and well right here in our home state. I want to recognize and thank the Armenian community for serving as an emblem of hope for all groups around the world experiencing oppression, just for being who they are. Once again, congratulations on this historic moment, and I hope you all enjoy, as you should, the rest of your celebration.
Senator Portantino is actually being very modest, because what he failed to mention is that he personally helped secure millions of dollars in the very beginning for this museum. The next person I am about to invite is someone that has been fighting on our side for as long as I can remember. And even though he works right here in a city next door, I flew all the way to DC to interview him during the war in Artsakh because of the work he was doing. I wanted to interview him in his arena because that is where he shines. Congressman Adam Schiff.
Good evening, how are you? What a beautiful night, and particularly now that we have some shade. Reverend clergy, my fellow colleagues, the wonderful Senator Anthony Portantino, ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful evening, and I want to thank you for inviting me to be part of this historic day. I'm honored and excited to celebrate the groundbreaking of the Armenian American Museum and Cultural Center with you in beautiful downtown Glendale. This is a day that so many in our community have worked so hard to make happen for so long. Berge, I want to give you a special congratulations. I know how you have put your heart and soul into this for really not just years, but decades. All of you and your hard work, your dedication, and your steadfastness made today happen. This is a landmark project that will enrich the fabric of our community, ensure that we never forget the incredible achievements and tenacity of the Armenian community, and it will be a destination for people from around the world. Museums play a central role in shaping our society, educating current and future generations, and bringing together people of all backgrounds. This unique and first-class education and Cultural Center will not only inform the public about the history, culture, and heritage of the Armenian people, but will also encourage people to see the cross-cultural connections and embrace the diversity in the United States by sharing the Armenian American story. Everyone here understands how and why Armenian Americans are an essential component of the national fabric of the United States, enriching our customs, our traditions, and our communities. Truly, your story is an American story, persevering and building something amazing anew. And with this center, we can and will share those contributions and stories with the world. As survivors of the first genocide of the 20th century, this museum will serve as a testament to the perseverance of the Armenian people. We honor the memory of the 1.5 million Armenian martyrs killed during the genocide and come together to look forward to the future with resilience, with faith, and with hope. Like all of you, I have waited and worked for this moment, this momentous day. When I attended the second annual gala for this museum, I saw again the community's passion and enthusiasm and heard firsthand how tirelessly and diligently the community worked to bring about this dream. Your dedication is an inspiration to all of us, and I'm proud to champion this cause in Congress by advocating for additional funding to support the museum that the community so richly deserves. We are working to secure federal funding for the center, and I hope and pray that in the coming weeks I will have positive news to share about Congress's 2020 budget process. I also want to extend my gratitude to the Armenian American Museum and Cultural Center of California's Board of Trustees, the executive leadership, staff, construction committee, as well as all of the supporters here who have combined their efforts and played such a pivotal role in advancing this project. I look forward to the day, and it won't be far ahead, when we can come together once again and celebrate the ribbon cutting of this magnificent facility. Thank you, congratulations, and God bless you all.
So right now, we're going to play for you about a 1-hour documentary. I'm just kidding. We're getting close to the finish line, I promise you. But a lot of people worked for this. And, you know, these people deserve their moment here on stage because 7 years is a long time to see something to this point. And someone who's been seeing it to this point is one of the founding fathers of the Armenian American Museum. He is the man that had this great idea several years ago. I don't know what that spark was. I don't know what that stroke of genius was, but he said we need to have this, and he's here today to make sure that we now move on to the next chapter. Mr. Berj Karapetyan.
Good evening. Let's have a big hand for Alina. Excellent job. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Your Excellency, Reverend Fathers, elected officials, benefactors, donors. I have a very short speech. My speech is to show you that the dream continues, to show you that there are individuals that have been so inspired by this museum that they're stepping forward to make an incredible donation. The first couple I'm going to invite to the stage are immigrants who came to the United States, one from Argentina, one from Lebanon, in the 70s. They went to an Armenian school in Valley, Ferayan, where they became sweethearts, and they went on with their careers. One has built a wonderful furniture business, Armen Living, and the other one is a very successful psychologist. So I would like to invite Kevon Kevonian and Alexia Kevonian to the stage. We're going to make a special announcement on their behalf. Let's have a big hand of applause for Kevon and Alexia. Kevon and Alexia and I met a few years ago at their request in a very famous, very high-end Denny's restaurant. And we discussed their passion and their energy that was for the museum. And they surprised us a couple months ago, letting us know that they wanted to be an inspiration for others to follow in their suit. And I'm going to show you that it has succeeded. So Alexia and Kevon, I would understand, Alexia, you want to share something with us.
Hi, everybody. I feel so proud to be here tonight, and I feel so honored that the board gave me a couple minutes to say a little something. In the centuries before May 28, 1918, every Armenian on the planet was a diasporan, each and every one. Most of our ancestors were either citizens of the Ottoman Empire, Russia, or Persia. Now, if you were to ask an Armenian from that era where he was born, you were likely to hear, "I'm from Armenia." Does it surprise you that he wouldn't say Russia, Persia, or Turkey? Well, it shouldn't, because today we're all here gathered together at this groundbreaking ceremony in this wonderful place called America, a home away from home. Because we believe we are Armenian no matter what borders say. When we are together, we are Armenia. In our connectedness, we bring life to the old lands of our forefathers. In us, Kharpert, Bitlis, Van, Evereg, Gars, Sepastia, Burdur, Dikranagerd, Garin, Marash, Julfa, and Shushi are still alive. No manner of violence, past or present, can erase that. This museum will be the embodiment of us, our history, art, music, our Movses Khorenatsis, our Gomidas, our Gorky, our churches, our forgotten villages, our apricots and pomegranates, our blood, our laughter, our anger, our joy, our innovation, our impatience, and our endurance. Yes, our endurance. We don't get to be the first Christian nation without resilience baked into our genes. God made sure of that. This building, which will be erected very soon, will reflect what we are made of. Blood and guts, faith, hope, and a spirit that never quits. And it will be a beacon that says, Gank, yev bidi manank. Fellow Armenians, after the devastation to our people last year, the need for cultural preservation is imperative now more than ever. That need can be met right here on this soil beneath your very feet. This museum will be us, will be all of us, our Armenian American life on display. Let's build it together. I encourage every one of you to help in whatever way your heart inspires you to help. And join us. And when you do, the world will see what our collective efforts can achieve, a standing legacy. Thank you.
Alexia, thank you. Stay here. Ladies and gentlemen, Alexia and Kevon, I'm going to ask your two youngsters who are volunteering today to join us up here. Ek. So mom and dad are doing this for you. The Kevonian family is donating $1 million to the museum. Let's have a big hand of applause. So this was the first $1 million donation to the museum, not from a public source, not from organizations, but from an individual family, an immigrant family. The next donation is from a family that has been around the United States and actually California for 100 years. A family who has been running their business, fourth generation of Armenians running their business, and they're the largest independent recycling and waste hauling company in Southern California. The Arakelian family are donating $1 million. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big hand of applause for the Arakelian family. Ron and everybody from the Arakelian family, thank you very much for your generous donation. And ladies and gentlemen, I will turn it over now to the program to do the reason why we're all here, shovel ceremony. So we're going to invite, do I do the inviting? Board of Trustees, if you can please come to the stage. Or you're doing it.
I will do it.
She's going to do it. She does it
A little miscommunication, but that's okay. $1 million, wow. Some people, 2 million. Some people dedicate their time and some people dedicate their blood, sweat, and tears, what they work so hard for, right? So thank you. I would like to now begin what we've all waited for, the shovel ceremony, the official groundbreaking. This marks a whole new beginning. This marks a whole new chapter and what will very soon be the Armenian American Museum. So let us welcome back our executive team once again. We want to invite our Board of Trustees to the stage. Executive Chairman Berj Karapetyan, who's already here. Executive Vice Chairman Zaven Kazazian, and also our governors to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our ceremony tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you and good night.